Stephen Aitchison here with another 30 Days of Change. This is day 9. I've not even looked at the videos. I think it's day 9. Yeah, it's day 9. So this is day 9 of 30 Days of Change, and today I want to speak about how to go from a negative thinker to a positive thinker. And that's what today's theme is all about. So this is all about, I was thinking about this topic today, and I thought, okay, what am I going to write about it? And then I kind of went back to the messages that I get and my email list as well. I get loads of emails about how to change people's lives, and obviously I can't give you any personal advice. I'm not qualified to give you personal advice. With you listening to this live cast on Facebook, it's up to you whether you take my advice, but it is just about advice I've got. Now, I've got a psychology degree, I've been an alcohol counsellor in the past, etc., but it doesn't make me qualified to give personal advice. So I can't send you personal responses, unfortunately. But what I can do is give you general advice, and if you choose to take it, then that's cool. So I get loads of messages on Facebook, and I get loads of messages by email saying, how do I change to become a positive thinker rather than a negative thinker? So a lot of people are negative thinkers because it's the easy way out. It's very easy to be a negative thinker because your brain takes a path of least resistance. So if you think about your brain and all the neural pathways inside your brain and all the different thoughts and the branches of your thoughts, and those thoughts become different thoughts and those thoughts become different thoughts. If you think about all this as a huge network of thoughts, it's like a forest, almost a really dense, thick forest. So on the one hand, you've got the forest there, that's the positive thinking, it's big forest, you can't see anything, but on the other hand, you've got the negative part of the forest, and right through that is a path. It's very clear, that path, and most people take that path because it's the path of least resistance. And that's what a lot of people who have become negative thinkers automatically have taken, the path of least resistance, because it's easy. We don't have to think about it, it's just we automatically are kind of negative thinkers, but because we're surrounded by kind of negative news, negative information in our lives, negative information in the newspapers, on the radio, on the news, etc. So it almost becomes a part of our life, or it does become a part of our life. So it's really easy to take the path of least resistance. So if you think of your mind like a forest, the hard part of it is trying to cut through the forest like with a knife, and you're trying to get through there, and that's the hard part. You have to train your mind to become a positive thinker. Whereas the path is there right in front of you, you can see all the way to the very end is all the negative stuff, and it's very easy to go down that path. So you have to train your brain to become a positive thinker. Now, when I'm talking about positive thinking, I'm not talking about dismissing everything bad that goes on in the world, or just being happy all the time and seeing sunshine and rainbows and kind of little blue butterflies going on all over the place. It's not about that. It's just about turning your thoughts into becoming much more positive than they are now. Because what happens, and I've said in the earlier videos as well, your energy changes. Your whole energy changes. When you walk into a room, you know immediately when somebody's kind of in a bad mood or they're in a negative kind of state of mind. And conversely, if somebody walks into the room and they're really happy and they're really bubbly and they're kind of like this all the time, and you just know they've got that energy, they've got that positive energy about them. Now, I'm not saying you have to kind of skip into your house every single night after coming home from work. It's not about that. It's just becoming much more positive. And obviously the benefits of that are huge, are absolutely huge. To your health, for a start, if you become a positive thinker, it's really amazing for your health, because you're releasing kind of hormones into your bloodstream, like serotonin. That's getting released into your bloodstream, and that makes you kind of even more happy, and it's good for your health as well. Obviously not too much, but a lot of it is. In fact, I'm just going to turn this off 1 second, if you bear with me a second. So yeah, that's what it's all about. So imagine, okay, I'll tell you a story first. What happened about 3 months ago, and this is not necessarily pertaining to negative thinking, but it was overloading kind of my brain. I do a lot of work online, a lot of work for my business online, and I've got a big, huge list of things I've got to do, and sometimes I get behind. Like just now, I'm kind of behind on all the stuff that I've got to do, and sometimes it can get overwhelming, and my mind is flooded with these kind of almost negative thoughts, and I have to kind of control it, and it's kind of difficult to control these kind of thoughts. But what happened 3 months ago, I had this big list of things to do, and as I was sitting in the kitchen having a cup of coffee, what happened is, okay, I've got that to do, I've got this module to write, I've got to write back to that person, I've got to have a Skype meeting, I've got a business meeting here, I've got something over here, I've got some, and then suddenly what happened is my mind literally became overloaded. I thought, I can't do it, I don't know what I'm going to do, and it was almost like my kind of mind shut down, and I had a full-blown panic attack. And it's the weirdest, strangest, most horrible thing I've kind of ever experienced mentally, and I never want to go through that again. And I didn't realise it, I didn't recognise it at the time, but literally for 3 hours I couldn't do anything. When I started one part of the project, I just couldn't do it because my mind was kind of focused on all these other things that I had to do. Then I thought, right, you need to calm down, you need to just get it together, calm down. So when I tried that, I just thought, right, calm down, and looked for the positives in this. So what were the positives in a situation like that? And I mean, literally for 3 hours I could not move, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't start anything or anything. My mind was just kind of shut down. So deep breath, relaxed, and said, okay, what did we learn from this? What are the positive things that happened from this? And one of the most positive things is obviously I need to get more organised with my time, because everything was stuck inside my mind. It wasn't organised in any kind of fashion, because it's like that forest, it's kind of one part's up a tree, one part's on the forest floor, and I just had to sit and relax and say, okay, positive that come from this is I need an organisational strategy to organise me, myself and my time as well. And so I did that, and I sat down, I forgot about everything I had to do, sat down and thought, okay, right, I'm going to structure my time for today, for tomorrow, for next week, for the next 2 weeks, for the next 4 weeks. And I put it all down in a calendar. But what happened is I got all those kind of thoughts in my head and onto paper, not paper as such, but onto Google Calendar. That's what I use. So they were all out of my head, and I could see at a glance exactly what I had to do. So it became much more manageable. And then after that, I just chunked it down. Thought, okay, for 4 hours I'm going to work on this. I'm going to take a break after that, and then for 4 hours I'm going to work on that. But can you see how that changed from a negative situation, like a full-blown panic attack, into a positive situation? I realised I had to change something. But a lot of people won't think about that, and you've got to discipline your mind to look for the positives in your life. So the first thing you've got to do, if you want to change from a negative thinker to become a positive thinker, the very first thing you've really got to do is become aware of your thoughts. Now, how do you become aware of your thoughts? It kind of sounds like a strange concept. Well, you just start off small. So if you're waiting in the line in a supermarket queue, or you're in Starbucks, or you're waiting at the doctor's, or you're waiting in any kind of queue, just ask yourself what you're thinking. Just be present and be aware of what you're doing at that very moment. So you say, okay, I'm in a line for the supermarket, I'm standing here, how do I feel? I feel quite warm, I've got my jacket on, I feel quite warm. And you're aware of the lady in front of you, the man next to you at the till, and you're aware of all that. Sorry for my dog barking there. You can tell this is live. I do apologise, I think that's a postman at the door. Nightmare. So yeah, so you become aware of your thoughts first of all. That's the very first thing you have to do, is become aware of what you're thinking in the present moment. And just do this once a day for about 5 minutes a day, and just become aware of what you're thinking at the time as well. So become aware of what you're thinking about work, what you're thinking about yourself, about your situation, your relationship, anything else, just become aware. And then the next thing you've got to do is kind of turn any negative thoughts you've got and look on the flip side of it and just say, okay, I'm thinking negatively about that. You don't ask why or anything, you don't try and analyse it, you just say, I'm thinking negatively about that. What are the positive things about that? What are the positive outcomes? What are the positive traits about that person I'm thinking negatively about a situation you're in? What could be the possible positive outcomes? Because really what we do is ask ourselves positive questions, and I've spoke about this in another video as well, if you want to go back and check out the other videos, and it's on the questions we ask ourselves to change our life. The questions we ask ourselves are really kind of close our brain down sometimes. So a possible negative question would be, why does this always happen to me? And your brain has nowhere to go with that. So your brain just kind of almost shuts down and say, and it kind of gives you the reasons, but it gives you negative reasons. You're no good, you're not intelligent enough, you're not good looking enough, you're not hard working enough, you're too lazy. And it gives you all them, because you've asked your brain a question, it'll come up with the answers. But not come up with the answers you negatively need or you want. So what you can do is turn that around and just ask a positive question and just say, okay, what is the best possible outcome I could get from this? Or how could I make this or turn this into a much better situation? Because your brain then has somewhere to go, has something to work on. So that's a good thing to do. So become aware and ask yourself kind of better questions about the negative situation or the negative relationship you're in or the negative person you're thinking about. And that's a really good way to start. Also, this is a good thing as well, because we're all connected electronically somehow, either on a computer at our desk or via the phone. What you can do is get pop-up messages to come up throughout the day, just to remind yourself to be positive, or remind yourself of a question. Just saying, get a pop-up and just says, what is the positive feelings you have just now? What positive feelings do you have just now? That's a very simple thing to do, but a really effective thing to do as well. Just to remind yourself, maybe every 3 hours, a wee pop-up on your phone, what's the positive things you're thinking just now? And that's a really good way to remind yourself. And this is all just to start with, because what happens over time, when you start thinking positively and you start training your mind, because your mind is like a monkey mind, it wants to go down the path of least resistance. It doesn't want to kind of be disciplined, it doesn't want to sit still, it doesn't want to have to do any hard work at all. But once you train your mind to become positive, and you have to train it, then that's when things start to really happen for you. And once you train it, and once you're into that path, then the path of least resistance will become the positive path of least resistance. So it'll no longer be the negative one, it'll be a positive path of least resistance. Like, I'm an extremely positive person. I see the good in everybody, I see the good in every situation. I'm just extremely positive. I'm kind of mostly happy. I'm hardly ever in a bad mood, except when I'm kind of really stressed and I've got all this work to do. But then I have to remind myself at the time, okay, just take a break, sit down, what's the good things that can come out of this? And the good things from taking a break, obviously you get a chance to talk to my sons or kind of go out a walk with the dog, get some fresh air and do that, and then you come back refreshed. So it's not all about kind of positive thinking, life is beautiful and happy and everything else, but on the whole, you become that positive person and you take the path of least resistance, which is the positivity path. So that's what I want to speak about today, and hopefully get you thinking about being a much more positive person just by controlling your thoughts, or becoming aware of your thoughts first of all, and then starting to control them. Because that little monkey mind of yours is just going to keep going and keep going and keep going, and the same situation you're in just now is going to be the same this time next year, it's going to be the same this time 5 years time, it's going to be the same this time 10 years time, if you don't start to control your mind, control your thoughts. And from that, when you start to control your thoughts, you then start taking positive action. So you take positive steps towards what you really want to do in life, what you really want to get out of life, what you really want to get out of relationships. And that's when you start taking positive steps and positive actions once you change your thoughts. So, just to recap, become aware of your thoughts, ask yourself positive questions, and then recap throughout the day. Just get pop-ups on your phone or pop-ups on your computer, just to remind yourself to be positive. What are the positive situations you're in just now, or what positive things can you think about just now, and keep doing that for 30 days. I keep saying 30 days, but just 30 days is a good number. Keep doing that, and then you'll see the difference it makes in your energy. You have much more energy, and that proves it's beneficial for your health, because you've much more energy naturally. So you're not having to drink coffee all the time. I drink loads, well, I don't drink loads of coffee, but I drink about 6 cups. I've cut it down to 6 cups a day now, which is good for me. I was on about 12 cups, and that's just because I'm so busy. I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and working right through till about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. But I love it. I thrive in that environment. I love everything about what I'm doing. I love it. So it doesn't seem like work. It really doesn't. So, but coffee definitely keeps me going. So, do you have any questions about, who's that, Lenny? Thanks, Steve. Nice advice. I love coffee though. Yeah, I'm not saying cut out the coffee, because I love my coffee as well. Brilliant. Now, Sarah Jones has wrote, brilliant, I'm doing this. That's another thing as well I just wanted to touch on. I'm known for saying the word brilliant all the time, and I don't know why I say it, I just naturally say it. I just say brilliant, that's brilliant, that's brilliant, thanks for doing that, that's brilliant. The words you use as well can change the way you think. So if you can use some positive words like brilliant, if you want to use brilliant, everything's brilliant, oh that's brilliant, you're brilliant, fantastic, brilliant, amazing, things like that. If you can change a couple of words or introduce a couple of words into your kind of vocabulary, that's going to change things as well. You might not think it does, you might think, oh that's such a small thing, but it does. And if somebody asks you, oh how are you doing today, you go, oh I'm brilliant today, how are you doing? Because most people say, when they hear that, how are you doing today, they say, I'm okay. And everybody's just, blah, okay. Everybody's just, they're okay. But if somebody asks you the question, oh I'm brilliant, they kind of stop and they kind of go, it's kind of mind overload, they just go, what? And then they'll just kind of ask you, start a conversation, ask, well, why are you feeling so brilliant? So just introduce a few kind of positive words like that, amazing, brilliant, fantastic, into your vocabulary as well. That's another good wee tip that I've used. And I don't know why I started using brilliant, I don't know when I started using it, I just always say it in all my emails, all my kind of Facebook messages, oh that's brilliant, thanks very much, oh you're brilliant. So words like that can help as well. That just reminded me when somebody wrote there. Okay, have we got a few questions? I don't know if there's any question. Wendy Galvin, I find it difficult to stop negative thoughts. Oh, that kind of, the messages are going far too quick now. I've got, right, no, I didn't catch that. Oh, bugger, sorry. What you will say will come your way. Suzanne Meadows. Amy Aitchison, how do you brush up people's negative moods? That's a really good question as well. When you're in such a positive mood and everybody around about you is kind of in a negative mood as well, and I've spoke about this in another video as well, visualise yourself in a bubble. Now this might sound weird and kind of a bit out there, but it really works. Visualise yourself in a bubble, and it can let positive energy in, but it just retracts kind of negative energy. So you can't let negative energy in, and you can just push out positive energy and pull in positive energy as well. So massive bubble that you're in, kind of walking around, or even when you're in your car, there's this massive bubble, and I've surrounded my house with a massive bubble as well. So no negative energy can get in. And as I said, it sounds weird, but just try it. Try it for 30 days anyway, and see how it works. So that's one way to do it. Other ways to kind of not brush off negative people, but rebuff kind of negative people is, because you're always going to get negative people in your life, is to counteract everything negative they say, counteract it with a positive thing. And what they'll do, they'll soon get pissed off and just leave you alone. They won't come to you with negative information. They won't come to you with gossip. They won't come to you with all that bad news and stuff as well, because they know you're going to turn it around with a positive, something positive about that particular situation. So if you can rebuff, or if somebody says something negative, just counteract it with something positive. Flip it on its head and counteract it. And that's a good way of doing it as well. Naomi Bukuku, nice words, thank you for that. How to change, please tell me. Well, that's what these videos are all about. Is just how to change from a negative thinker to a positive thinker. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's Sally Ann Gladden. Yep, definitely. I'd definitely advocate that as well. Sounds good to me. Try to think positive thoughts only. Not necessarily positive thoughts only, but just thinking more positively. More positive than negative. And that's the good side of it. Thank you, Latosha Howard. Thanks for that. Thank you, good information. Amy Aitchison again. Thanks, Amy. I'm positive I get negative energy very easily. Which door should I close? Catillon. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Which door should I close? Well, it was about, just if you go back to kind of this video again and just say imagine yourself kind of in a bubble. That definitely helps to stop the negative energy coming in. Gina Martin, you're brilliant. Thank you very much, Gina. She's my word, just brilliant. Brilliant, Steve. Oh, Abir, how you doing, Abir? Abir is brilliant. You need to check out Abir's page, Abir Fahim. Is Juliet turns the page. If you've not been there, that's a brilliant page. That's a brilliant Facebook page. So just type in Juliet turns the page and you'll find a page. It's excellent. So I'm going to head off just now. I think I've been on for 23 minutes now. It's just going to be. It was meant to be a short one today, but then I got kind of mixed up. And because I love this topic, I love talking about negative thinking and positive thinking, and why we are negative thinkers and positive thinkers. So I just can go on and on, but I don't want to. I know you are very, very busy, and I want to thank you very much for watching all the videos. I really love all the comments, and I'm sorry after the videos played, I usually get swamped with about 5,000 comments or something, and I can't get back to every single one of them, and I do apologise for that, but I try and get back to a lot of them, or at least like a few. That's me going and liking them. It's not somebody else going and liking them on my behalf. I try and go in, spend half an hour and just kind of like and reply to some of the comments as well. So I'll try and do that this time. And I don't know if you know this or not, I've just got a new kind of product out, but I want to offer you something for free which will definitely help you change from a negative thinker to a positive thinker, is positive affirmations. And you know I'm big on positive affirmations if you do it the right way. A lot of people don't do them the right way. So if you go over to positivelifeaffirmations.net, you'll be able to download Positive Life Affirmations MP3, and that'll help you change the way you think. It's just one MP3 download, but if you listen to that for a week and then let me know how you get on with it, that would be fantastic. So that's at positivelifeaffirmations.net, and I think that goes directly to the download page where you can get it. So I'd love it if you could check out that and let me know what you think of it. That'd be brilliant. But for now, namaste.